This evening, Guyana has confirmed its first case of monkeypox. Stay tuned to learn how you can protect yourself from this new viral disease that is sweeping the world. The motorcyclist involved in the Lusignan Public Road accident where a pedestrian was run over appeared in court. CANU discovered several bottles of mercury in Berbice. In the region, thousands protest in Haiti over insecurity and rising costs. And internationally, US reports 30% surge in monkeypox cases in 1 week. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Berbice. Thank you for joining us. The first case of monkeypox was confirmed in Guyana on Monday, August 23rd. Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, said the male resident of Region 4, who is in his 50s, had all the signs and symptoms of monkeypox and underwent a series of tests over the weekend.
We have, over the last weekend, had a case of suspected monkeypox. Clinically, the person had all the signs and symptoms of monkeypox. And we have been able to confirm that by using PCR to do the confirmatory diagnosis. So we now have our first case of monkeypox in Guyana, and we have since isolated the patient, so that patient is now in an isolated area at the Ocean View Hospital. And that patient is stable and is doing very well.
Dr. Anthony added that persons who were in close contact with that individual are in quarantine, while assuring the public that the country has been preparing for this eventuality and is equipped to handle the situation.
With this case, we are taking all the necessary measures, and I want the public to know that we have diagnostic capabilities. We have our labs that are prepared. We have a lot of people who have been trained. Over the last couple of months, we have trained a number of physicians. We have trained a number of laboratory staff, just in case if we have cases, what to do.
The health minister is urging persons to take all precautions and follow all the guidelines.
I don't want people to panic because monkeypox is not something that is readily transmissible. You have to be in very, very close contact with that person, and with the lesions on their skin and the liquids that come out from those lesions before you can actually get sick. So this is something that I'm sure once we continue managing it as we are doing right now, that people would be quite safe.
Additionally, during today's COVID-19 update, Dr. Anthony said the government has already trained several regional health officials at the National Public Health Reference Laboratory to be better able to detect the infectious disease.
Because we have, over the last couple of months, developed clinical guidelines on how to manage these patients. And many of these things, we had an expert group that sat and came up with the guidelines of management. In the case of the first patient, we had that sequence of events that occurred. Patient showed up, doctor was able to make a preliminary diagnosis from the clinical picture that was presented. We took the samples, we sent it to the lab confirmed, and having confirmed, we trigger the next set of steps, which is we wanted to make sure that this patient is properly isolated so that he wouldn't be in contact with other persons. And so that is what was done in this instance.
A special unit has been established at the Infectious Disease Hospital Liliendal to accommodate patients infected with the monkeypox virus locally. The medical outpost is outfitted with the necessary reagents and equipment and a full medical staff complement. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health is working with the Pan American Health Organization to secure vaccines for the monkeypox virus. Despite Guyana seeking a relatively small amount of the vaccines, it is hard to come by, especially for small, less developed countries. Dr. Anthony explained that there are limited supplies, and through PAHU, the process would be easier as it will group countries and make representation to the manufacturer to be able to access the vaccines. Persons should note some of the symptoms of monkeypox: which are rash with blisters on various parts of the body, including the hands, feet, mouth, and genitals, fever, swollen lymph nodes, muscle and back aches, low energy. Anyone showing the typical clinical symptoms of monkeypox should report same to the health authorities so that the response team can be put in place to evaluate the suspected case. The transmission of monkeypox is through close contact with an infected person. Once infected, the incubation period can last from 7 to 21 days. Before the appearance of lesions, infected persons can experience symptoms like myalgia, swollen lymph nodes, swelling in the neck, and headaches. So far, out of a total of 42,666 infected with monkeypox in 95 countries worldwide, 13 deaths have been reported. The motorcyclist who was involved in a fatal accident on the Lusignan Public Road, where he hit a pedestrian who was run over by a car, appeared in court. Esther Sobers has more details in this report.
31-year-old Leon Lewis of Annandale East Coast, Guyana, was charged and placed on bail for causing the death of 53-year-old Paharalad Saw of Lusignan East Coast, Guyana, when he appeared at the Sparandam Magistrate Court on Friday, August 19, 2022. Lewis appeared before Magistrate Rochelle Liverpool and pleaded not guilty to the charge of causing death by dangerous driving and was granted bail in the sum of $500,000. The court heard that on August 15, 2022 at Lusignan Public Road, Lewis drove his motorcycle in a manner dangerous to the public, thereby causing the death of Shaw. Reports were that Lewis was riding the motorcycle east along Lusignan Public Road when he claimed he was behind an unknown minibus and suddenly saw a shadow walk out from south to north across the road. Lewis further claimed that when the bus passed, he saw Shaw in front of him crossing, and due to him being in close proximity, he crashed into the now deceased man, causing him to fall onto the road surface. Lewis then picked up his motorcycle and drove away from the scene. Saw was subsequently run over by a car. The driver of the car behind Lewis reported that while driving east down the road, he observed something lying on the pavement and, despite trying to veer north to prevent a collision, ran over the said individual. Saw was pronounced dead at the scene. Lewis went to a private hospital to seek medical attention and was hereafter arrested. He returned to court on October 13, 2022. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Officers of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit conducted a search in Crabwood Creek, currently in Berbice, and found mercury at an abandoned sawmill last Friday. CANU has since confirmed that 3 bottles of mercury were found among the bushes in the compound. The bottles were handed over to GRA, the agency responsible for the importation of this type of chemical element. Importation, retailing, and distribution of mercury require a license from the Pesticide Toxic Chemical Control Board, as well as the written consent of the Commissioner of the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission and an environmental authorization from EPA before the shipment of mercury is imported into Guyana for mining purposes. The government of Guyana signed the Minamata Convention on October 10, 2023. The Minamata Convention on Mercury is an international treaty designed to protect human health and the environment from anthropogenic emissions and releases of mercury and mercury compounds. It was adopted in 2013 and named after the bay in Japan, where in the mid-20th century, mercury-tainted industrial wastewater poisoned thousands of people, leading to severe health damage. Stick around after the break. Guyanese urged to provide bed and breakfast services during the Caribbean Premier League and Carnival, and residents of Albais Town will soon benefit from community enhancement works.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Clearance has a crazy sale on Friday, August 26th, where women get up to half off jeans, ladies' dresses, tops, working shoes as low as $3,500, and men get from 15 to 50% off men's shirts, dockers trousers, polos, sneakers, shorts, men's dress shoes, and suits. And don't forget, 10% off backpacks. So remember, the sale is Friday, August 26th. Clearance, always keeping you in style. Who could stop Clearance?
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. As the Caribbean Premier League 2022 and Guyana's first ever cricket carnival draw closer, Guyanese are urged to take advantage of opportunities to provide bed and breakfast services through the Guyana Tourism Authority. GTA's director, Kamrul Bash, said the program would provide alternative accommodations for the upcoming season.
With this new product, which is cricket, CPL cricket and carnival being blended together for the September-October period, we recognized very early on that a lot of the hotels in country are fully booked. Immediately after it was announced by His Excellency, it was fully booked. Now, how do we solve this problem really? So the challenge was that we needed to get some additional rooms. So we thought of coming up with this bed and breakfast initiative.
Over 100 persons have registered with GPA thus far, which equates to about 390 rooms. The majority of them have been examined and given the all clear to start hosting guests. The GTA has been offering hospitality and other pertinent training to support bed and breakfast owners. The GTA director stated that a team from the organization would walk interested persons through the entire procedure, providing information and registering people.
Our team will then take you through the entire process, getting you registered, sharing all of the requirements, and then importantly what we will do is to come to your property and do an on-site inspection. So we have an inspectorate that would come out and check to see whether you're actually satisfying the requirements of a bed and breakfast property. And once that inspection is completed, of course, there may be cases of non-conformities. You may need to fix something or create a policy or put in some signage or something like that. We assist in that regard. And, once things are fixed, we would come back, do a re-inspection, and then issue you with a letter of conditional approval.
Marketing is also a priority for GTA, and registered approved providers are published on Stabrook Travel, cricketcarnival592.com, GTA's Facebook page, and other platforms. Providing bed and breakfast services can provide an additional income, and persons are encouraged to get on board in providing this service as there is support. Cricket Carnival 2022 and the events surrounding the activity begins on September 16th and concludes on October 2nd. Albise Town residents will soon benefit from $1.4 billion in community improvement projects. As the source tells us more.
Residents of Albise Town will soon benefit from $1.4 billion worth of community enhancement works to improve their livelihood. The improvement of the current carriageway is to accommodate 4 lanes, installation of drains along the eastern and western carriageway, the building of a central avenue, and the construction of fences on both sides of the cemetery are all included in the scope of work in this contract. The works will be conducted through the Ministry of Public Works Urban Enhancement Projects for South Gardens and are expected to be completed by year-end. Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel during the launch on Monday said the government is committed to bringing improvement to the lives and livelihood of every Guyanese. Enhancement work will be undertaken along Independence Boulevard from Saffron Street to Cemetery Road. The work entails the construction of a 3-lane carriageway with concrete drains and culvert with elevated lights and a garden and seats. Major upgrades also will be done on Vicinjan Road from Peninsula Street to Mandela Avenue. In addition to the community being beautified, the residents were assured that they would be able to gain employment when work commences. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Thousands protest in Haiti over insecurity, rising costs, and US reports 30% surge in monkeypox cases in 1 week.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Good girl forget things.
problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Clearance has a crazy sale on Friday, August 26th, where women get up to half off jeans, ladies' dresses, tops, working shoes as low as $3,500, and men get from 15 to 50% off men's shirts, dockers trousers, polos, sneakers, shorts, men's dress shoes, and suits. And don't forget, 10% off backpacks. So remember, the sale is Friday, August 26th. Clearance, always keeping you in style. Who could stop Clearance?
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. At least 2 people have been killed in Haitian capital Port-au-Prince during anti-government protests. Widespread poverty and political instability are fueling violent crime and lawlessness. Al Jazeera's Victoria Gattinbay reports.
Chaos in Port-au-Prince. Haiti is a country without a functioning government, its economy's collapsed, and protesters are demanding Prime Minister Ariel Henry step down.
We Haitian people will demonstrate with our plates and spoons and blankets and pillows in front of Ariel Henry's house to ask him to resign because hunger and insecurity are killing us all.
During the demonstrations, a man was shot and killed. Witnesses say the attacker fled in a car. Gang violence has surged since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse last year. His successor enjoys support from the international community, but has been criticised for saying he has no plans to step down until elections are held.
We live in a society where people can't afford to eat and drink. If conditions for the most vulnerable people here don't improve, we will stay on the streets. We have a different vision for the country, one where young people can thrive.
Haiti is still struggling to recover from a magnitude 7.2 earthquake that destroyed the southern tip of the peninsula a year ago. Crippling economic conditions are likely to worsen as the political crisis drags on.
There's gas shortages, there's severe criminality with kidnappings and gang violence, massacres over the last few weeks. And therefore, the government so far has been rather weak in its responses and hasn't been able to address these realities that are affecting daily lives for Haitians.
Critics of the Prime Minister have vowed to continue to protest until they get the change they say Haiti needs. Victoria Gattinbay, Al Jazeera.
Mexico's government is calling on international experts to help rescue 10 coal miners who are trapped underground. Al Jazeera's Manuel Rupalo reports.
The Pinabete coal mine in Coahuila, Mexico. Emergency crews have been working day and night to free 10 miners who have been trapped underground since August 3rd.
This is all going by too slowly. It's been too many days.
Cynthia Ruiz's husband, Sergio, is among the missing miners. She tells us her grandfather died in a mining accident long ago, and later her father was trapped in a coal mine for 7 days before being rescued. She says the last thing she ever expected was to be going through the same experience once again.
I understand what my daughters are feeling, not knowing if your father is okay or not, or how will he get out. I understand more than you can imagine. That's why I say to God, if you gave me my father back, let my daughters have their father back too.
There's been no contact with the miners since August 3rd. But Plutarco Ruiz, Cynthia's father, says even though it's been almost 3 weeks since his son-in-law became trapped in the mine, hope is not yet lost.
There is always hope, always. When I was trapped in the mine, people said I was dead. It was in the newspapers, but here I am. Miracles can happen.
Coahuila is Mexico's coal mining capital, but safety standards for miners here are practically non-existent. Accidents involving gas explosions, collapses, and flooding, like the one that occurred in the Pinabete mine, are not uncommon.
Rescuers are continuing to extract water from the flooded mine, using more than a dozen pumps like this one, working 24 hours a day. Authorities say that bringing the water level down is the only way they'll be able to reach the 10 men trapped more than 60 meters underground.
Families of the trapped miners say what they want most is for the men to be returned to the surface. But many here also warn that without improving working conditions for coal miners, it's only a matter of time before an accident like this one happens again. Manuel Rapalo, Al Jazeera, Coahuila, Mexico.
The United States has reported more than 14,000 confirmed monkeypox infections, a weekly increase of 30%. Al Jazeera's Patty Calhan explains.
So my name's Matt, I have monkeypox. This sucks and you don't want it.
All across social media, monkeypox patients are posting warnings. This is a painful, debilitating disease that you don't want to get.
I was in so much pain.
Right now, the vast majority of cases are in men who have sex with other men. It's rarely fatal, but activists in the gay community have mobilized.
I'm very confident that we can get ahead of it before the massive outbreak, given the community's fortitude and their resilience, and also learning from the mistakes of COVID.
And there is a vaccine. The CDC says it should be administered in 2 doses 28 days apart, but there's not nearly enough of it.
Vaccination clinics like these are now popping up across the country, but critics say the Biden administration was very slow. At one point, leaving hundreds of thousands of doses of the vaccine that the U.S. already owns in Europe. So now officials are trying to stretch the vaccine. By administering it in a different way, they're hoping to get 5 doses out of 1 vial. But there could be a problem with that.
It's totally unclear that anything I've read on the science, if the degree of protection is identical to what the original proposal is, or prescription, which is to get 2 full doses.
Bob Goldstraw says he was turned away from getting his second shot. He believes it's a problem of supply. The D.C. Health Department blames the Biden administration.
What we end up getting is 12,000 doses. Had we got 12,000 vials of vaccine, that would have been some 60,000 doses that we would have had.
The monkeypox virus has spread quickly in the United States. The first case was reported in May. The CDC says there are now more than 14,000 confirmed cases. The Biden administration says they are working to secure millions more vaccine doses, but health experts say that creates other issues.
We really need to be partnering with our global partners and colleagues around the world to make sure that vaccines aren't just made available to high-income countries like the U.S. and Europe, but also that, it's pretty alarming and disgusting that now there are still no vaccines made available on the continent of Africa.
The maker of the vaccine says it will take months to expand its production capabilities, but experts say the window to contain a broader outbreak could already be closing. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Update. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.